One thing that the ROG Ally, the Lenovo Legion Go, the Steam Deck OLED, which just came out or is about to come out, the Nintendo Switch, and the bevy of other handheld PC devices that are out there all have in common. One thing that they all share is that when you're using them, when you're playing games on these devices, you spend a lot of time looking down. And the solution to this problem is augmented reality glasses, which just keep getting better and better and better. And these are the newest ones from Xreal, and they are not an exception to this rule. They just keep getting better. In fact, that's kind of like the theme for my video. These have exceeded my expectations in just about every possible way. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably sitting there with a tad bit of skepticism when I tell you that these things are awesome. In fact, I was very skeptical that I would like these when Xreal, they used to be called NReal, but when they first reached out to me with their first set of glasses, I was very skeptical that they would be useful at all. And I'm here to tell you that I was pleasantly surprised. And then these new ones basically improve upon that first iteration in a whole bunch of ways that I want to talk about in this video. What would you use these for? Well, I will say that recently my family and I we took our first train trip to New York City. And previously, whenever we travel anywhere, I'm driving. I'm the person who drives wherever we go. So this was a different experience for me. And man, I really wish that I had these glasses with me when we went on this trip, because if I had, boy, it would have made the 6-hour train trip so much better, because these things are just fantastic. Essentially, they are a private entertainment center that you can bring with you, and they have like this, they have the equivalent of like a 300-inch screen. I'll get to the specific numbers later on the video, but they have like a massive screen built into them with these little OLED displays from Sony, and they basically allow you to bring your own private entertainment center with you wherever you go. So if you want to play games on it with without worrying about people looking at your screen and maybe seeing something that they might find offensive if it's an M-rated game, like in Doom Eternal or something where you're chopping dudes up, you don't have to worry about bothering other people with what you're doing on your gaming system when you have these with you. On top of that, if you're sitting there on a window seat, you're going to have a bunch of reflections on your screen, and there's no reflections at all when you are looking through these glasses. And I gotta say, these glasses actually look pretty decent. Like, they look fairly normal, like a regular pair of sunglasses. Something else that all of those video game systems have in common is that they have fairly small screens, which makes reading text in a video game kind of hard to do. Well, because you've got this giant screen in front of you with these glasses, you don't have to worry about that. It makes it so much easier to read the on-screen text when you're playing a game. So I think that these are a really good solution for a lot of reasons, but my favorite reason to use them isn't actually for video games at all. It's for hooking up to my phone. My phone is upside down. It's for hooking up to my phone and watching a movie on it. Like, it's just such a great plug and play experience. This is the iPhone 15. I just got it, and a single cord from the glasses to your phone, and you can watch whatever movie you want on a giant screen wherever you are, and it's just really impressive. Most devices are going to work right out of the box. You take the USB-C cord that is included that has the perfect shape to clip onto the back of the glasses, and then you plug that into whatever device it is that you're going to be using, and it will basically get detected as an external display, automatically switch over, and you are ready to go. And it puts the screen out there in front of you so that you can see whatever it is you want to play or watch. On the right arm of the glasses is a button that does one of the coolest things that I have ever seen, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But next to that button are these two buttons. It's actually like a rocker right here. Now, when I first put the glasses on, I thought that they were really nice looking, but then I went to adjust the volume and I realized that these two buttons, or the rocker, as I said, they change the brightness of the image. But if you do want to adjust the volume, all you have to do is long press the plus button for just a few seconds. It'll switch over to volume adjustment. You'll hear a little beep, and then you can adjust how loud everything is. The screens go all the way up to 500 nits of brightness, which is about the same brightness of the LCD Steam Deck, but it feels brighter than that because the screen isn't competing with other light sources. The new Sony OLED panels have a 46-degree field of view, and they go up to 1080p 120 Hz, which gives you a display equivalent of about 330 inches out in front of you, floating in space wherever you are. I don't know how they calculate 330 inches, but it's a massive display, and it's bigger than any screen that I could really fit in this room. So having that in a pair of glasses that I can take wherever I go is just so cool. Okay, let's get back to that button that I talked about a little bit ago. This button is incredibly cool. It is the button that activates the Electr Chroma dimming, which basically says that when you push that button, it changes the tint of the lenses in front of your face. So when you turn off the dimming, it's like you can see more of the room out in front of you. But when you turn it on, the lenses get darker, and there are 3 different levels of darkness to these lenses. And at the darkest level, it's almost, not 100%, but almost like when you have the covers on. And these still come with covers, but honestly, the pros, which are the ones with the Electr Chroma dimming, I don't see myself ever putting the covers on these again, because the dimming is just so well done. All right, so I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on screen, but right now I've got these hooked up to my phone, and I'm gonna, currently the Electr Chroma dimming is turned off. I'm gonna put it on the lower setting, and now you can see like they've gotten darker. And now I'm gonna do it again, and this is at the darkest level. And at this level, I cannot even see the camera that's in front of me. Like, it is completely obscured by the darkness of the lenses. And just down here, just underneath, I can just barely see my hand. And then I turn that off and I can see everything in front of me. It's so weird. And I expect that regular glasses, like, I would love to have a pair of regular glasses that had a battery in them that I could charge whenever and just allow me to switch between the shade without having to like have transition lenses or something like that. This is so cool, but it's not the coolest feature on the glasses, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, let's talk about the audio. Xreal did a lot of work to improve the audio in this set of glasses over their original ones. The volume is adjusted by whatever device you actually have attached to the glasses at the time, or you can adjust the volume using the Xreal Beam, which we'll talk about later on in the video. The Air 2 and the Air 2 Pro glasses have an all-new sound system that has more directional audio coming out of these speakers right here. They sound really good, way better than I thought they would, and they also kind of sound muffled to anybody who's not actually wearing the glasses. So if I'm sitting there and I'm watching a movie, like, if I crank it up, other people are going to hear it, but if I have it at a reasonable volume, it's gonna sound great to me, and everybody around me is just gonna, like, they'll be aware that I'm listening to something, but they won't be able to figure out what it is. On top of that, it means that I don't have headphones on, or I don't have in-ear headphones on, and so I also can hear the world around me, which is a huge benefit. And because there's a speaker on both arms, that means you get directional audio. So I loaded up Cyberpunk 2077. I was running down the road and I could hear the cars driving by me on the left-hand side as I did that. And it's really cool. It's something that you don't often have in a handheld PC. And we definitely have some separation of the audio, but it's not going to be nearly as good separation as you get on something that is a tiny little speaker right next to your head. I don't feel like the previous iteration of these glasses was uncomfortable in any way, but these are so much of it. This is the biggest upgrade, is comfort. The biggest upgrade from the previous versions of these glasses to the new versions of the glasses is how comfortable they are. They're super soft, they're very light, they're very comfortable. The ends of the arms are flexible and soft, which makes it easier to wear these for an extended period of time. Plus, they're lighter than the previous glasses. It's only by 4 grams, but you can feel it. It's really strange how light these feel, especially because the weight is just distributed so perfectly across the glasses. When I first put them on, I felt like the screen, the built-in screen was too big and it was cutting off the bottom half of the screen. But that was before I replaced my nose piece with a bigger nose piece to, for my big old honker of a nose. And then they were a little bit wider, so the glasses then sat down further on my face. And suddenly I could see way more of the screen and it was more comfortable. So definitely check out the different nose pieces that come with them. It actually comes with 3 nose pieces, one that's already on it, one that's much smaller, and then one that is much bigger. I'm currently using the biggest one and it's perfect for me. Xreal also sent this over. This is the Xreal Beam, which is a really cool device. It's about $120 as of the time that I'm recording this. But it gives your glasses a few more options. The Xreal Beam allows you to anchor the screen to lock it in place in a virtual space so it doesn't move when you move your head. Honestly, I thought that I would like this more, but I find the next mode to be way better, and that is the smooth motion mode. So when you move your head, yeah, the screen moves around, but it's a slight delay, which sounds bad, but it's not. It basically takes all the little jitters out of how you move your head around and smooths everything out. And I think that that's the mode that I like the most when using the Xreal Beam. Side view lets you push the display off to the side so you can see more of the world that's out in front of you, but honestly, I just don't see myself using that as a mode. And then the Xreal Beam also allows you to adjust the screen size so you can shrink it down if you want. I personally don't like using that mode. I prefer it to be as big as possible, but I'm glad that they give you the option to change those things. This will also allow you to play video games on your Nintendo Switch using this without having to use the Nintendo Switch dock. Originally, with the first ones, if you wanted to use the Switch, you had to use the Switch with your Switch dock, which was a kind of a terrible experience for a portable system. So I didn't ever see myself doing that. But with the Xreal Beam, which is also compatible with the older glasses, you can use this as your Nintendo Switch dock. The only issue is the Switch sees it as a dock and then turns off the attached Joy-Con. So you have to take the Joy-Cons off and play with them detached or like a regular controller instead of just playing it with the Switch in hand. The finish on the Beam feels really great. It's super soft to the touch and it doesn't pick up fingerprints at all. I wish every device had this finish in different colors. One thing I'd love to see on the Xreal Beam would be an app for game streaming like GeForce Now, which can hit frame rates of I think up to 120 frames per second, which these glasses can support. And I think that over Wi-Fi, this would have no trouble streaming a 1080p game at 120 hertz on your display. That would be a fantastic experience. It has a 4,870 milliamp hour battery. It'll last about 3.5 hours and charges to 50% in just 30 minutes. So I think the Xreal Beam is really cool, but it's worth noting that you do not need this in order to use the glasses with anything other than a Nintendo Switch or like something that uses HDMI. Pretty much all handheld PCs are going to work on this thing right out of the box without anything else needed. So this is definitely optional. I said it with my first video, so I'm going to say it again. These glasses, they feel like that first iPhone moment or that first Walkman moment where you suddenly have this new category of device. And I can see the iterations from the first version to this version are so awesome that I cannot wait to see what XREAL is going to do with augmented reality glasses in the next 10 years. Just think about what the first iPhone was like and compare that to, say, the iPhone 15. I think that leap, if you look at that with glasses, is going to be really, really crazy. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen. If you want to pick these up for yourself, there are links down below. The prices are XREAL Air for $339, the Air 2 for $399, and the Air 2 Pro for $449. My recommendation is the Air 2 Pros. The comfort, the electrochromic dimming is absolutely worth the extra $50 that you would pay for that. The comfort alone is just such a fantastic upgrade, and for only $50 more to get that chromic dimming, so that you don't have to put the lens cover on the glasses, is without a doubt just amazing. If you enjoyed this video, then you're probably going to enjoy this video as well. From the NerdNest, I'm Bill. Stay rad, everybody.